Housing bubble disrespecter with this tweet, it says, POV homebuyers seeing rates drop after the bank collapse. And it's like, it's like, it's true. I mean, my buyers right now probably buy a $250,000 house, rates drop in half, they're at a $500,000 house. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then it says, yeah, but lending standards get tighter and becomes next to impossible to get approved unless you have top tier credit. Well, I don't know if that person knows, but it's hard to get a loan right now. The underwriting is pretty intense. As someone who's, I mean, I've listed a few houses where the original buyer was pre-approved, but the deal fell down over their own financing. So to me, that seems to indicate that there's pretty decent underwriting going on. Amy Nixon, I thought this was really something. She's really, if you are on Twitter, follow her. She's really on it. Says the number of residential properties in the process of foreclosure is up 5% from Q4 and nearly 30% year over year. It's mind blowing that after housing appreciated 40% in 2 years, that there's any homes in foreclosure. And it shows how ridiculous our casino housing market has gotten. And so yes. And this is with record low unemployment. Everybody has a job or two and gained massive home equity. And yet we're still seeing an increase in the number of people in foreclosure. And it says, up from a very low base, how does the current level compare to long-term trend? It's low, but like I said, we're coming out of a foreclosure moratorium and homeowners have had record equity in a strong labor market. It's pretty shocking that there's any distress at all. And that's it. That's true. My God, to have, like, if, say you were a little old lady, okay? I don't mean to be sexist or ageist, but you're a little old lady and you're on a fixed income, okay? And you've kept your house nice. You haven't done anything different, maybe did a kitchen remodel, maybe, 10 years ago. Maybe did a bathroom remodel 5 years ago. Your house is in a nice neighborhood and it's nice. Let's just say, you bought the house and it was like $50,000. Okay. You've long paid off your mortgage. Okay. Now you're sitting in the house and you just watched your house value go from say 150 to 300,000, 150,000, and you did nothing to the house. Okay. Now, if you were having problems, God forbid, and I don't want that to happen to anyone, you could refinance the damn thing, cash out, and you'd be in fantastic shape. There'd be no reason for a foreclosure. And that's the frightening part. The idea that there's people in foreclosure right now, this after all the other things. I got the bug. Thank you. It was bugging me. Plain words. The idea that you can be in a foreclosure situation now after equity has gone so much higher is just embarrassing, sad, frustrating. And should we get a wave of foreclosures, that takes out your construction industry, which isn't great. I'm just saying. Markets and mayhem. I'm trying to get a little better with my working on the computer. So Markets and mayhem says there could be more issues ahead for the banking sector. That's according to JP Morgan. But I found this clip, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. I'll try to be quiet. But Joe Biden just told me on Monday morning that things are going to be fine.
Before I leave for California, I want to briefly speak about what's happening at Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Today, thanks to the quick action of my administration over the past few days, Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them.
Okay, so first off the bat, 20 seconds in, Joe Biden did not know he was a banker. The American banking system's safe. This is why people lose confidence in the government. You can't have one group saying, hey, things are, about ready to fall off a cliff, and then someone else say, oh, no, everything's fine. Everything's great. We fixed it. Housing bubble disrespecter. This has always been funny. Buy now or be priced out forever, and then when you go to sell, it's worth what we were willing to pay for it. This is the problem. This is the problem. And then it used to be a rate chart and everything, and it's just... Oh, here we go. Finally, create a sense of urgency. That was from the first 5 minutes of the show today. It's people accuse real estate agents all the time of trying to create a sense of urgency. And so when I'm saying you need to put your house on the market tomorrow, that's creating a sense of urgency, but I don't mean it that way. I'm trying to tell you, like, look, in St. Louis right now, put your house on the market because people are still out there trying to buy aggressively. Literally 80 to 90 houses that I showed my buyers are right now under contract, and there's not one of them that's not under contract. That's a strong market. It's not a good thing necessarily, but it is strong. So, this is buy now or be priced out forever is a concept of creating urgency in a situation that maybe doesn't warrant it. As a buyer, you could tell that's why it's like, look, you should buy now or else things can go south. And it's like, no. I wouldn't tell my buyers that. If you have to buy a house, the buyers that I have very reasonable reasons to buy a home. They're not speculators. They just want a place to live. They just want shelter, and they don't want to pay. House or apartment rents are just ridiculous. They've raised at the same rates. That's why I think it's inflation. But anyway, this was interesting. And then I wanted to go through this one real quick because I don't know, it spoke to me. He says, I talked to many people, and you'll be amazed at how many people want the system to collapse. It's frightening. What have they done to people in the last 3 years? Where's the 90s optimism? Everything they did was to boost the 1% and suppress the population. Nature will react sad. Well, he's got it at the end. He's got it at the end. Our government flat out lied to us on numerous occasions. And then they want us to be happy. I mean, you look back on the Iraq war, okay? That was for me a moment that was like, wait a minute, who's the bad guys here? Then you had Lebanon. Then you had Syria. Then you had Afghanistan. Okay? Then you bring in the pandemic. I mean, and then you have these daily occurrences where a government official says things are fine, and they're not fine. And they're not even close to fine. Eric Weinstein says that the institutions are corrupt and they're irredeemable, and the people that built this country aren't around now to fix it when it breaks. And in my lifetime, I have seen, there are things that I've seen that I can't even believe. Like, for instance, power outages, blackouts. Rolling blackouts are acceptable in California now. We've had power. Texas had no power last year during the winter. What the hell? I mean, it's simple things also, like nuclear power, the technology behind it now, much safer, much better. We could have cheap, reliable energy, but yet there's this resistance, and there's this resistance from people that either don't understand the science, which has also been politicized, but they don't want nuclear. They want wind farms that kill eagles, and it's just like, or solar arrays that just look terrible on the landscape. There's no optimism right now, and it's because of the lies. It's because of the lies, and it can, like, from what I've understood now, like when Jimmy Carter went out of office and Reagan came in, they said that the economy just like turned on a dime, and that people's mental stability got better. Basically, there was optimism. I've always thought that as a politician, if you could sell optimism, it's contagious. But it's hard. It's hard to sell optimism when you're just lying. I think that, genuine optimism is infectious, but this fake, and demonstrably so, that we've seen for the past 20 years, like, I'm just telling you, the quality of my life is not better now than it was 20 years ago. Is that my fault? Maybe. So I don't see the optimism. How can you have optimism in this environment? It's just crazy. This is the last thing I have for the tweets tonight. Darth Powell again, the Federal Reserve trying to fix 40 years of Ponzi schemes. Yes, manipulative Ponzi schemes by the Fed has been that way for a long time. Not right, not good. Good luck fixing it. The market rallied because the Fed was going to have to cut rates. That's not the pivot. They're only cutting rates when they think things are screwed. Not a good situation. Okay, let's get into the last part of our show.